welcome to another episode of Into the 99, where we have 99 cards, because Commander's number one. We begin this episode with an emergency notice. We are missing a Daniel. If anyone of you know where his whereabouts are, please let us here at Into the 99 know. We are missing him dreadfully.
We left out a pile of howling mines, but it still hasn't attracted him back, so...
Right? We even sprinkled in some soul rings. No bites yet. Yeah. But back to the episode today. I'm one of your hosts, Brian, and today I'm joined with Slothy. Slothy, how are you doing today? You excited for this weekend?
Very. Are you?
Oh, not really. I work tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
So it's not the most exciting weekend for us, but I do have Magic on Sunday. Really looking forward to that.
Nice.
Yeah. So today we were going to initially talk to you before we lost our Daniel about the new Eldraine commander, but this time I made a new deck which came around from other players' misdeeds. I guess that's the one way of putting it.
As they usually do.
Right? I call this deck my Salty Bones, and I had to rename it my old Salty Bones. The deck came after I had to rechange the commander. The original commander idea was a relatively new commander. It was the Thalia and the Gitrog Monster. I was going to build it. I was my friend that I was asking questions for. I wanted to build a stacks Thalia and the Gitrog Monster. That just seems fun. But not fun. I think it's like a little bit of let's go back to fair Magic. We're gonna play it within some turns. It's just gonna be a good time.
Yeah, we're gonna take things real slow.
Right? But today we'll be discussing I gotta turn it on, make sure we're seeing the right guy. Nope. There we go, before I even boom! We're talking about Myrkul, Lord of Bones. My old Salty Bones. This commander, he's a 7 costing commander, but you're in green. 7's not a rough thing to do.
No.
But you do have the difficulty that you do have to somewhat mana fix, because it's a 3-color deck. So it's 4 white, black, green, legendary creature god. As long as your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, Myrkul, Lord of Bones, has indestructible. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card. Except it's an enchantment and loses all other card types.
So all these wonderful, wonderful stacks abilities are now going to be harder to deal with.
Oh, I had such a fantastic... I'm going to cut out that part, because watching it back did not look good. Yes, it's going to be fantastic. There's so many different stacks cards in here, and they're all mainly creatures. And you know me, I have to... this list that you're going to be seeing on YouTube is not that exact. They're not the exact cards that I have. I need to actually update it. A lot of these are more foily than what's going to be displayed, but regardless, I love my enchantments. I do have some like updates that I do have to make to this list, but this is still pretty much the same list. Or there's some cards that I want to find a place to put in there, but I just don't know what to remove, because everything just seems so much fun right now.
Fair.
I played this deck once so far, and I dropped a Draenith Magistrate turn 2.
Okay.
I was able a couple turns get out my commander, and then like the other players were like politicking to see who's gonna blow up the Draenith. Not realizing that I was just like, all right, like blow it up, like do whatever you have to do. My nose is incredibly itchy for whoever's viewing this video. No, I'm not like on anything. Getting old, and yeah, hair's ridiculous. I'm gonna just be honest. But yeah, so I got 2 I had a doubler, a token doubler out as well. So I was able to make 2 Drain with Magistrates. So they had to deal with it twice over.
That's diabolical, and I love it.
Yeah. So the creatures, as you can tell with the main body of his ability, are going to be the meat and potatoes of this deck. So we'll probably leave those for the last. So we can start off, Slothy. We could probably quickly jump through the sorceries if you want to let them know my good old ramp package here.
Sure. So 4 sorceries in this deck. They are all ramp, all pretty much staples.
Like you said, you have to get to 7. We gotta get there.
Exactly. You've got to cultivate 2 in a green, search for 2 basic lands, put 1 on the battlefield, other in your hand. Farseek, 1 in a green, search for anything but a green. That also goes onto the battlefield. Kodama's Reach, 2 in a green, search for 2 basic lands, reveal them, put 1 on the battlefield tapped, the other into your hand, and then shuffle. And good old Rampant Growth.
Old one, actually. I do love the artwork for this one.
Yeah, that's... What's that from? Mirage?
Yeah, we got some good old gazelles just grazing there on the new growth.
Nice. I don't think I've seen that art before. I very much enjoy that one.
I've never heard growth before, the flavor text. Too funny. But yeah, like we mentioned, we need to get there when it comes to the mana, due to our commander costing 7. So any way that we're really gonna get there. So yeah, all of our sorceries are just ramp. Like, let's go, let's get our mana out there, and let's have some fun. Like, that's the name of the game. We want to be able to ramp, we want to be able to drop our pieces, because we really want to take control of that game early. If we can, to slow the other people down. Some of the people I do play with do play a little bit competitively. They try to go for the turn 3 win sometimes. So that's where, or they try to pull some shenanigans. Like, oh, there's a lot of playing stuff without paying my costs and stuff like that. So I want to try to get there before they're able to.
Yeah.
Starting our instant section off, the good old staple Beast Within, 2 and a green. Destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green beast creature token.
Kill the weak so they can't drag the strong down to their level. This is true compassion.
Sounds pretty Sith, in all honesty.
Yeah.
That's why they went to the rule of 2. So you can only have the one that's going to try to overthrow you, not have like 6 weaker people gang up on you. That was the whole reason that he thought the Sith were not compatible.
Yeah. Everyone's just vying for too much power at the same time.
Right. Take the new ramp card we got here.
Got some instant ramp with Entish Restoration, 2 and a green, sack a land, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. And if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, instead search your library for up to 3 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle.
Right?
It's a phenomenal card.
I didn't expect it to, like, it's saying it's $1.79 on here, but I swear it's going for a lot more at the stores.
Yeah, that's incredibly valuable.
Right? And we got the new Generous Gift. I love this one. Yes. I do have it foil. I saw them and I was like, you have to put those aside for me. 2 and a white, destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green elephant creature token, just like Beast Within.
And also, just like Beast Within, has a phenomenal flavor text.
Served cold nonsense. The best way to serve revenge is with an elephant of nervous disposition. Everything knows that. Everyone knows that. That's good, actually. I love that. And Slothy, what does every green deck need?
I think it needs a heroic intervention. 1 and a green, permanents you control, gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn.
Always needs a heroic intervention.
There's no reason not to.
Well, the cost of the card is one reason, but it's...
Yeah, fair. I mean...
Bless you. The one thing, like, Brian dies first. That's the thing that when it comes to our streams, when we did stream regularly online, I was always the target. So when you become the target, you have to get those responses, or you have to find an answer, right? So I have been forced to run this. You animals made me. The next card, always staple in any white deck, is going to be Path to Exile. 1 white, remove target creature from the game. Its controller may search his or her library for a basic land card and put that card into play tapped, then shuffle his or her library. Exile. Yeah, basically if you want to hit your own thing, but I don't want to exile mine. I need them to go to that grave to be exiled.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people don't run these. Like, I don't see them too often when it's coming against me. Like, I think it's for one CMC. I think it's just such a great auto include into any white deck removal package. Because Exile's so strong.
There's only a couple of cards that can get things back from Exile.
Yeah.
So, and they're all fairly old to my knowledge, so.
I don't even think I know any of them, but I know that they're out there.
Then on the same train as Path to Exile, we got Swords to Plowshares. Also a white, exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power.
And I don't even really care if they ramp or they gain that life. I specifically use this on the really annoying creatures due to their annoyance, right? Or just the usage or the synergy that they're in someone's deck.
Yeah, you use these on the light steals or
anything with indestructible.
Anything with indestructible. Sliver Hive Lord.
Yeah, it needs to go, right? And then in the same train of thought as Heroic Intervention, we have Teferi's Protection, which is 2 and a white. There's a lot of cards that have came out that kind of nerf the phase, like that kind of get this card now. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of gotcha moments for me when I get back out to the LGS a lot more often. But we got Teferi's Protection here. Instant. Until your next turn, your life total can't change, and you have protection from everything. All permanents you control phase out. And then exile Teferi's Protection. But your library can still be interacted with, and there's other certain rules that can kind of get around it.
I think commander damage, you can still die with this one too.
Your life total can't change. That's the one thing. But yeah, like if they had a way to still... I need judge rulings for certain things. So there's some stuff that's happened, but luckily the judges at Ogerson have been able to kind of really help me out with understanding those. Next up in my enchantment non-enchantment deck, or my non-enchantment enchantment deck, we only have 8 enchantments, so we'll hit that one next.
Alrighty. So the first enchantment we've got, good old Aura of Silence, 1 double white. Artifact and enchantment spells your opponent's play cost 2 more to play, and you can sacrifice Aura of Silence to destroy target artifact or enchantment.
Not all silences are easily broken. Yeah, this one is going to help slow down all of our opponent's mana rocks, things like that. Again, just help us try to get ahead of them. I really don't like playing stacks, so this deck is really new to me, and I've only played it once so far. So like I think it's going to be interesting, but we'll see. I'm really happy with how I built it and some of the feedback that I've gotten. I'm a bad person, I know. The next card that we got in here is Authority of the Consuls, 1 white. Creatures your opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you gain 1 life.
Yep, that first ability is, well, they're both very, very good. The first ability especially so, and the fact this can come in on turn 1.
Yeah. Stop that
is
goblin haystack right in his tracks. I say nay, good sir.
Yeah, puts a turn 1 Godo player.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Arena now because Daniel talked me into it. And yeah, some of those goblins, they can hit right off the bat real quick.
Next one we've got here is Black Market. 3 double black. Whenever a creature dies, put a charge counter on Black Market. And at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add black to your mana pool for each charge counter on Black Market. Such a good card.
Yeah, we want things to die. So we're going to be maybe chump blocking with our creatures so if the creature dies and then it becomes an enchantment. If we can get, again, mana, get that advantage, and be able to play some stuff, I'm going to take it.
Absolutely. Especially with a 7 mana commander.
Yeah, again, our commander's expensive. And he's going to die sometimes, and I know that.
Yeah.
And I always play these cards. Yeah, I do have both of them in this deck. So starting off with Burgeoning, 1 green. Whenever an opponent plays a land, you may choose a land card from your hand and put it into play. And like I was saying, there's 2. I always pair it with Exploration, so another 1 green. You may play an additional land each turn. Why not? I know they're expensive cards, but I absolutely love them. I love green and just being able to get that landed, or that even if you have 3 lands, you put this down, and then like to turn 2 or turn 1 2 lands, and then you're already 3 lands. Turn 2, like
it's ridiculous.
Or 4 if you draw 1. Yeah. I gave you my baby there. Please.
Yeah, one that you run quite often. You got Doubling Season. 4 and a green. If an effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many instead. And if an effect would put 1 or more counters on a permanent you control, it puts twice that many on instead.
Look at those babies.
Look at the baby dinosaurs.
It's my playmat too. I love this art so much. It has to be my favorite art.
It is so nice.
Mm-hmm. They're so cute. I need them all. Then we have Miri's Guile, and this is one card that I picked up, my first one, at one of the face-to-face events for $3. I picked this up for $3 for a foil one. I was like, yeah, this is great. And then I've noticed that the price has greatly changed.
Yeah, it's up to 45 now, according to Moxfield.
Yeah, I'm very happy with my purchase. I love the card. I think in my mind it's better than the library. I don't like paying 4 life for a card draw. 3 or 4 life. I know it's up there, and that gets expensive for your cards. So if I can just shuffle, or at least take a view at the top 3 and be able to work it around into what I need, I think that's just a lot better. You could do the same thing with the library, but meh.
And rounding out our enchantment section is one of my babies, Threll's Hive. 1 and a white. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and create a 1/1 Phyrexian Might with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block. And it's got Corrupted as long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Creatures you control with Toxic have lifelink.
Meh. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And again, like if I want my creatures to be dying, I need to be able to have some sort of defense.
Yeah.
So the next section before we jump into before we go ahead and jump into our meat and potatoes is going to be our artifacts. Obviously, we're going to have a arcane signet. This arcane signet comes from the Lord of the Rings set. It looks so good, and so costs 2 colorless, and you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity.
Yeah, solid card.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got another very solid card, Bolas's Citadel. 3 and triple black for a legendary artifact. You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. If you cast a spell this way, you pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. And you can tap and sacrifice 10 non-land permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life. That is... People don't tend to, at least when I've played against it, don't tend to really take into account that bottom ability, but
Right.
that is all this deck wants to do.
Yeah, if I get 10 of my 10 things out there and I sacrifice them, I can ding people for 10. I use it when it gets down to like me and the last person. If they're at like 10 life or something like that, like, let's go.
Good game.
Yeah. What do you want to give away? Then we have Commander Sphere again from the Lord of the Rings set. I love these art. 3 colorless. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. You can sacrifice it to draw a card.
Yeah. And then we've got the Crucible of Worlds. 3 mana. You may play lands from your graveyard.
Again, the main idea was I was going to be having Thalia in the Gitrog. So Gitrog in my mind is somewhat of a landfall. So I had an idea. There's lands in here that will work with this and everything like that, but realizing it after the fact that I don't think I need these cards in here, and they might be the ones that are on the chopping block.
Fair.
But I really enjoyed having the Gitrog Monster out and just being able to like use my Marsh Flats over and over again to really just go and fetch my lands.
Mm-hmm.
Like people, when I was playing the game, they were like, "How are you?" Well, in my other friends group, we play with 60 life. Because again, we like to see our decks do what they're supposed to do. We're able to see more cards, yada yada yada. But I was already at like 39 life, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm sacrificing my Marsh Flats, finding like all my pain lands, bringing them in, my triomes and stuff like that." I was like, I'm doing stuff."
Yeah, exactly.
And then always like we've been talking about, let's bring down the fast mana. So we got a Golgari Locket, 3 colorless. Tap it to add 1 swamp or 1 forest. You can pay a combination of swamp or forest 4 times, sacrifice the locket, and draw 2 cards. So if you're good late game, we already got lots of mana production going on. But what's really slowing down is our card draw. Let's go ahead, crack it, draw 2 cards. Like, there's so much usage in it, and I really enjoy them.
Definitely. Then we've got Lightning Greaves. 2 mana. Equipped creature has Shroud and Haste, and equipped for 0.
I found these in, like, the box of stuff that people have rifled through a lot. And I was like, oh, how did no one see these? Then I was super stoked actually. I was like, yes, I need more of these. And to go with the Golgari Locket, we got the Orzhov Locket, 3 colorless. Add whiter black, and again combination white black 4 times. Sacrifice the locket, draw 2 cards.
Yeah. Then we got Selesnya Cluestone, 3 mana. Tap to add green or white, and you can pay green and white and tap it to sacrifice it to draw.
And then we got the same thing, Selesnya Locket, 3 colorless. Tap to add green or white. Again, multitude of 4, green or white. Sacrifice Selesnya Locket, draw 2 cards. We can have a lot of card draw if we really want to.
Then we do have some fast mana with Soul Ring. 1 mana, tap to add 2.
Then we got Talisman of Hierarchy, 2 colorless. Add 1 colorless, or tap to add a white or a black, and the talisman deals 1 damage to you.
And then we've got the Talisman of Resilience. 2 mana, tap to add colorless, or tap to add black or green, and it'll deal 1 damage.
Yeah, so basically, again, other than the Crucible of Worlds and the Bulls of Citadel, really my Artifacts is all ramp. I basically have 10 other pieces of ramp, 4 ramp spells, 5 ramp spells. We're running 33 lands. Some of the notable lands, just to say, we do have a Dark Depths. Again, like I said, I was thinking of the landfall kind of dealio. So we do have Dark Depths. We have a Strip Mine in case people really irritate us. Vesuva, and I believe there's another one that does like the same thing. Thespian stage, yeah.
Yeah, you've actually got a combo in here too, which is interesting.
Oh, which one? What combo are we going?
Dark Depths with Thespian stage. If you copy Dark Depths with Thespian stage, it'll enter again, but without the counters. So you'll just immediately get the 20/20.
Oh, okay, yes. I knew that combo. Yeah. So I have that in there, because just it seems fun. Let's just do it.
I love Dark Depths.
Yeah, right? So I'll let you start us off into the creatures because I want to call out the one that I picked up here.
Absolutely. The first one we've got here is Archon of Emeria. 2 and a white for a 2/3 Archon with flying. Each player can't cast more than one spell each turn, and non-basic lands your opponents control enter tapped.
Yeah, people are going to hate us. They really are. But you know what? Gotta learn to live with it sometimes. Just shrug it off and keep on going. They're gonna even hate us more when we play an Aven Mind Sensor. When I was building this deck, I was looking at face-to-face, and I'm a crow. I saw the shininess. I love masterpieces, so let's go. So we have the masterpiece Aven Mind Sensor, 2 and a white, has flash flying. If opponent would search a library, that player searches the top 4 cards of of their library instead. You're not searching anything.
Good. Better hope your fetch land will find something in the first 4 cards.
Well, you got 4 cards. You got 25. You got a 25, a quarter, 25% chance.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get there. Then we've got Ailey, Eternal Pilgrim, white and a black for a 2/3 legendary core cleric with Death Touch. You can pay 1 and sack another creature. You gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. Very, very good. And then you've got 1 white and black, sacrifice another creature, exile target non-land permanent, activate this ability only if you have 10 life more than your starting life total. Decent.
Yeah, I have more ways to exile things I don't like.
Yeah.
But I need to have life, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to help us again with that, like we want to get the lands down. We want to be able to play our other ramp and things along those lines. So we got Azusa, Lost But Seeking. Her ability stamped on a enchantment is nice. So we got 2 and a green, Human Monk. You may play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. 1/2.
Yeah.
And when we talk about these creatures, also think of them as an enchantment, as that's what we want them to end up being.
Yeah, you want to think of their ability.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got the card that you were talking about. I'm a fancy man.
Nice little alpha Birds of Paradise there. Single green for a 0/1 summon mana birds. Flying, tap to add 1 mana to your mana pool. This tap may be played as an interrupt.
$8,000 card right here. It's not this version I have, guys. It's he was like, oh boy. He's like, I didn't know you had this kind of money. I was like, it's not that one. Don't worry about it. That little guy. Don't worry about that little guy.
Don't worry about him.
So this one is one of the new ones from the previous set, or from the Lord of the Rings set. Here is the Boromir, Warden of the Tower, 2 and a white, legendary creature, human soldier, vigilance. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. Sacrifice Boromir, Warden of the Tower. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. The ring tempts you. 3/3.
It's also a nice little double heroic intervention.
Yeah.
Well, heroic intervention light, but
both of the abilities are fantastic. Being able to stop like Cascade, or other abilities that allow, or the Bolus's Citadel. Yeah.
You can stop any of the like deflecting swats or fierce guardianships.
Yep. Like it's just I didn't realize how many people actually need to be able to cast spells with no mana. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that trigger and people need to do to be able to do that. So I find it really funny when I did play it and they're like,
Well, good
yeah,
game.
yeah, good, GG.
And the next one we've got is Braid's Arisen Nightmare. 1 double black for a legendary nightmare 3/3. At the beginning of your end step, you may sack an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type with it. For each opponent who doesn't, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card.
I'm not an animal and not sacrificing lands. It never crossed my mind until I just realized I could replay those lands.
Yep. Yep.
But like, this one's just another way for us to kill off any of our other creatures, cause our get our opponents to either sacrifice one of theirs or take 2 life. So there's no, to me, I don't see a downside here.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
The next card, I never really got to use it in a deck. So we got Bramble Sovereign. I think its ability is fantastic. So 2 and 2 green. It's a Dryad. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield, you may pay 1 and a green. If you do, that creature's controller creates a token that's a copy of that creature. And it's a 4/4. I can give people anything I want.
Yeah.
This is a group hug stacks deck. You heard me.
You know, for whatever reason, I feel like that's not what you're doing with this one very often.
But it'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I slow you down to a certain point that you can't really do much. Be like, just cast a creature. I'll give you 2.
Yeah, just you can take an extra one of the next card.
Yep, exactly.
You got Delighted Halfling, single green for a 1/2 Halfling Citizen. Tap to add colorless, or tap to add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a legendary spell, and it can't be countered. It's one of my favorite cards of the year.
I need to get my creatures into play so they can die. I'm not going to get anything if they're countered.
Yeah, exactly.
So this just allows me to ensure that I'm getting my creatures in there.
Mm-hmm.
The next card is one that I did have played against me, and it was interesting. So it went in here. We got Drena and Limvala, 1, 2 white, and a black. We got a Vampire Angel. Flying Vigilance, activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated. And Drena and Limvala has all activated abilities of all creatures your opponents control. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color and activate. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate those abilities. Words.
This is a really interesting card.
Right? I'm going to do this. You can't do that. I do that.
I'm going to do that, but
yeah.
You can. Oh, the next one is another one of my favorite cards, and people hate me for it. Drannith Magistrate, 1 and a white for a 1/3 human wizards. Your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands.
No commanders for them, especially if you get it out super early.
Yeah. Yeah, 1 and a white is a super aggressive cost for a card like this.
Right? I think general stacks cards cost cheap.
That is true. That is true.
To help round out our mana in case we do get, say, all mana of 1 color, things like that, we do have Dryad of the Elysian Grove, 2 and a white, enchantment creature Nymph. When you may play an additional land on each of your turns, and land you control are every basic land type in addition to other types. Land fixing. It's needed. If we don't get, say, like any of our artifacts or any of our spells and we're only sitting with 2 colors and we can't play a third one, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
Unless absolutely. That 1 color is green.
Then you're in trouble.
Yeah, a lot of trouble.
If the 1 color you can't get is all your ramp color.
Right? And probably, I would say 90% of the color in this deck.
Yeah, fair. Next one we've got here is Alas Ilkor, Sadistic Pilgrim. White and a black for a 2/2 legendary Phyrexian 4 cleric with Death Touch. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life. And whenever another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life.
Yeah, our stuff's going to be dying, so.
Yeah. A little bit of ping.
Right? And just to be a nuisance, we have Elish Norn Grand Cenobite, 4 and 2 white. I think this is the highest CMC in this deck. Okay, for legendary creature.
Including your commander.
Yeah, other than my commander. Yes, you were very well. There's one other. There's one other Praetor in here too, but we got Phyrexian Praetor, Vigilance. Other creatures you control get +2/+2, and creatures your opponents control get -2/-2. If this becomes an enchantment and it's doubled,
you're in trouble.
No one's having fun. That's a 4/4 dying. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be a bad time.
That's rough. I love that.
Yeah, it's great. If I was the player playing against it, yes, I understand that I would be salty. Like, I would be super salty. But hey, we're the one playing this, so let's put that brave face on and get out there.
You never know how close a Stacks player actually is to tears. You should be nice to them.
Right? They're going through so much in life.
Next one we've got here is Elvish Mystic. Green for a 1/1 Elf Druid, tap to add green.
I picked up 3 of the new ones. That artwork is amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm very upset that it's actually not that one in here, but oh well.
Yeah.
Again, just more ramp. Again, like I don't even like, oh no, I do have a Land of War Elves. Like we have most of the little mana bops to really get us going, plus our fetches. So like there's a lot in here. Like you could probably remove some of the ramp, like the artifacts and stuff like that, and still be able to function, but I want it to be able to do what I want to do well. Without using certain cards. The next one to help us get our creatures out there, super simple, that can't be countered, we got is Elvish Piper, 3 and a green. Elf Shaman, you can pay a green and tap her. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield, 1/1. I remember back in the day that this card used to be like super expensive, and my friends used it a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 1 mana Elish Norn.
I mean, yay! Oh, that's funny.
Next one we've got here is Giver of Runes, 1 white for a 1/2 core cleric. Tap another target creature you control, gains protection from colorless or the color of your choice until end of turn.
Sometimes maybe it might not be a good time for things to die, especially if our commander dies.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, this will give us protection for our commander too, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
This one is a fantastic card. I love it. I need to find more copies of it. We got God Eternal Oketra, 3, 2 white, zombie god, double strike. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 4/4 black zombie warrior creature token with vigilance. Those stats are amazing.
Yeah.
Right? And then we still have, when God Eternal Oketra dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you're not getting rid of her. You may put it into its owner's library, 3rd from the top, 3/6.
Yeah. Very, very good.
Now we just need to make like a blue, white, black zombie deck.
Yeah, Esper zombies.
Right? There's a lot of actually good white zombies, like white and blue? No, white and black ones.
Yeah. This next card, I was listening to a podcast and they brought up the prospect of a Finale of Devastation for 2. We've got Grand Abolisher, double white for a 2/2 human cleric. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities for artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Counter that Finale of Devastation if they play it for 2.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
No, I'm keeping my things.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I had all of these cards like spread. Like I never actually had them like to a point that a deck was actually a stacks deck. Like all these cards were spread out amongst other decks. Now that they're all in here, I'm just like, this is mean. And then this card, Just thought it was super fun. I thought I picked one up for dirt cheap, but different card. We got a Heliod, God of the Sun, 3 and a white, god creature. Indestructible as long as your devotion to white is less than 5. Heliod isn't a creature. Other creatures you control have vigilance. 2 white, create a 2/1 cleric enchantment creature token. No, this was the cheap one that I picked up. Yeah. Just like makes me another creature. I'm good.
Sweet. Then we got Llanowar Elves. Green, Elf Druid, 1/1. You can tap it for green.
I dropped the next card here and killed it to make more. The next card we hear is Massacre Worm, 3 and 3 black, Phyrexian Worm. When Massacre Worm enters the battlefield, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 until end of turn. And then whenever a creature your opponent controls dies, that player loses 2 life. So I killed it, or I played it, and I'm pretty sure I sacrificed it to Ailey, Eternal Pilgrim, and then it became the enchantment. So the trigger never left the battlefield.
So it just came in
and
hit again.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Right? So all creatures that turn got -4/-4. Again, that's rough, especially if you still even have Elish Norn out of the battlefield. Because she's a 4/7, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So she's living. Everything's getting -6/-6.
Yep. Next one here is a phenomenal card. Mondrak Glory Dominus. 2 double white for a 4/4 legendary Phyrexian horror. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many are created instead. And 1 Phyrexian white, sacrifice 2 other artifacts and or creatures to put an indestructible counter on Mondrak.
Just too good.
Solid. Super solid.
Right? I just realized that I didn't put in the other white enchantment token doubler. I have the doubling season in, but I don't have the white one.
Anointed Procession?
Yeah. I think I'm going to have to try to find another one.
Yeah.
But I love this Mondrak. I've gone out. I've been hunting the Phyrexian symbol one. I think I have 2 or 3 of them now. I play so much green and white that I love tokens. So just that card, I'm surprised that it's still I think it's still rather cheap for just coming out and only having so much printing for it.
Yeah, fair. Was $40 is not terrible,
right? And you can get the other ones for probably cheaper.
Yeah, I definitely think Mondrak was the most expensive of that cycle.
I loved it. I hunted those ones. I wanted all of them. I just thought that ability was probably my favorite card out of the entire set there.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
So the next one was, I think, the set right before I really came back, so I didn't even get to see this guy. So we got Nemada, Primeval Warden, 2 green and a black, legendary creature Treefolk, Reach. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. When you do, create a 1/1 green Saproling creature token. You can pay 1, sacrifice a Saproling, and Nemada Primeval Warden gets +2/+2 until end of turn. You could pay 1 and a black and sacrifice 2 Saprolings to draw a card.
Nice.
And again, these abilities on an enchantment aren't bad because they're instead around.
Yeah. Speaking of abilities that are not bad on enchantments, got Opposition Agent, 2 and a black for a 3/2 human rogue with flash. You control your opponents while they're searching their libraries, and when an opponent is searching their libraries, they exile each card they find, and you may play them for as long as they remain exiled, and you may spend mana as other mana of any color to cast them.
I'm going to be honest, I feel like a really bad person with this in my deck.
It is so good.
I've had it played against me, and I felt so dirty. And now I'm going to be the one casting it. I sat there in the last game, and I had it in my hand, but no one searched. So I was like, what's the point? But I also didn't. At the end of the game, I was like, thank you guys for not searching. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, I had Opposition Agent, and I didn't want to play it. And another card everybody else doesn't like is we got Orcish Bowmaster, 1 in a black. Orc Archer, flash. Whenever Orcish Bowmaster enters the battlefield and whenever an opponent draws a card except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, Orcish Bowmaster deals 1 damage to any target, then amass Orcs 1.
I had somebody at Ogre's Den a couple weeks ago play this right after they played what is it? The one where you lose half your life and draw half your library, round it up.
Gross.
And he had just enough, like it was down to the last card.
Mm-hmm.
He had just enough cards in his deck to kill both of us.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it was impressive.
Yeah, that's a good clean win right there.
Mm-hmm. Then we've got the Pontiff of Blight, 4 double black for a 2/7 zombie cleric with extort. And other creatures you control have extort.
Again, not bad. Yeah. Not bad for an enchantment.
Yeah.
Again, like if I'm playing all these creatures and I have 3 creatures out there and I have all the ramp out there and like the mana, and I'm just gonna be able to tap and help ping all the players down and gain that life, like it's a win-win situation. I see.
Yeah.
And then we go into my favorite card of all time. Most times no one lets me actually have her. We got Seedborn Muse, 3 and 2 green. Untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step.
Great card.
Right? Yeah. I absolutely love it. I used to own a grand majority of the Calgary collection of them.
I believe that.
They have to go in every deck. 5 CMC cards a staple, right?
Yeah, exactly. One like that, definitely. Then we've got Shieldred Whispering 1, 5 double black for a 6/6 Phyrexian Praetor with Swamp Walk. At the beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player sacks a creature. Yeah,
it can just be pretty rough for them. If they, especially if it's like slowed down to the point where they can only play the 1 creature per turn. Like that way I'm able to ensure that I'm keeping a board state and keeping them clear, and either I can get in for some bonkenings there and help bring their life total down, or it's just also relieving any abilities coming from that player, or their creatures, I should say.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably the only card that I thought was good, in my opinion, that came out of that Aftermath set is the Sigarda Font of Blessings. I did end up pulling 1, but not this fancy one, and on Moxfield, you got to get this card updated here. Yeah, it just doesn't look nice at all on here. Sigarda Font of Blessings, 2 green, white, legendary creature, angel, flying. Other permanents you control have hexproof. You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may cast angel spells and human spells from the top of your library.
Yeah. Other permanents you control having hexproof on an enchantment's very solid.
Especially if you're able to kill her while you have Doubling Season out, then they both cover each other, and then everything has hexproof.
Nice.
Yeah, so there are some things that I have, like the one, since we're on her, the one other card, like you could probably play Shalai in here, so that way if she dies, at least you get 2 of them. Again, everything has hexproof, or I think she also does you have hexproof.
Yeah.
So then that way, if you do kill her, get 2, then you're covered, everything else is covered, and you don't have to worry about any single targeted removal, just the big board wipes.
Solid.
Right.
A phenomenal card. Tendershoot Dryad. 4 and a green for a 2/2 Dryad with Ascend. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 green Sapperling creature token, and Sapperlings you control get +2/+2 as long as you have the city's blessing.
Too good. I used to have a bunch of these cards too. I absolutely love this creature because it's every turn.
Yeah, each upkeep, so you're getting 4 in a full rotation, and then you're going to have, say, 5 lands.
Yeah, like your 4 creatures, 6 creatures. By the time that it actually comes back to you, or your next player's turn, unless you have other stuff out there, you're going to have the City's Blessing pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then we have who was going to be the original commander here. We got Thalia and the Gitrog Monster. 1 and a white, black, green. Legendary creature, human frog horror. First strike, death touch. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. And whenever Thalia and the Gitrog Monster attacks, sacrifice a creature or land, then draw a card.
I'm a big fan of both of these characters.
It's quite the interesting team up.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed that team up.
Well, you get to take one of them right now.
Yeah. Speaking of Thalia and the Gitrog Monster, we've got Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. 1 and a white for a 2/1 legendary human soldier with first strike, and non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast.
And we're mainly creature spells. We have 35 creatures in this deck.
So outside of creatures and lands, you've got like 32, maybe, which is not bad at all.
Yeah, and paying 1 more, like, I don't think we have really anything that we're going to be concerned about. I guess maybe making our swords and the path cost 2.
Yeah, but even then.
Right. And then, to help us, if we're sacrificing lands and everything like that to get them back, we got the Gitrog Monster. 3 black and a green. Frog Horror, Death Touch. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice the Gitrog Monster unless you sacrifice a land. You may play an additional land on each of your turns, and whenever 1 or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, draw a card.
I love the Gitrog so much.
Just chowing down on that person's arm.
Yeah. He's one of my favorite creatures of all time. A deck I'm probably never going to play.
No?
I don't have mental exercise for that.
Oh, yeah, Daniel had it, and trying to follow the things. I was just like, I'm done. I'm good.
I've read through their primer a good couple times, and it's just holy.
That's funny.
I like hitting things.
Right?
But rounding us out here, we've got Wandering Archaic, 5 mana, 4/4 avatar. Whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery, they may pay 2, and if they don't, you may copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. And it flips over into Explore the Vastlands, which costs 3. It's sorcery. Each player looks at the top 5 cards of their library, reveals a land or an instant or sorcery from among them, and puts the revealed cards into their hand and the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. And each player gains 3 life.
I didn't even know I had another side, and I don't really care.
The front side is really what you want.
Right? Especially if I get that stapled on an enchantment.
Excellent political piece, too.
Or 2 enchantments.
Yeah.
Double spells. Please pay 4. Daniel talking about me being a parrot. Do you pay the 4? Or do I get your spells? Yeah, like this deck so far, my one time playing it has been a blast. There are cards that I am contemplating removing out. Probably either the Crucible Worlds. I might change up some of the lands because again, like, I don't think I need the Thespian Stage. Like, I don't really think I need that combo in here. But a big 2020 Indestructible Bonker is fantastic.
Absolutely.
But it's not really the theme of the deck. But also, like, so one of the cards that I was thinking of putting in is another enchantment. And it would be Stony Silence. So all enchantments get hexproof or shroud. So that way they're protected. And then that way, if I do bring out what's her face, Sigarda, Font of Blessings, then everything doubles up enchantment wise. But I do also have like the other expensive enchantment protection spells in my actual enchantment deck.
Yeah. Fair.
But I am contemplating. But I don't want to be that greasy. Like, I feel like I should be able to still have people remove my stuff if need be, because I don't always go for the win. I do want to play some fun, but I think some people do need to be like, hey, let's just calm down a smidge here, guys.
Let's just slow things down and relax.
Yeah, take a breather. Let's take 10.
Yeah, no, I really, really enjoy this one. Stacks is an archetype that I've played a ton. So I'm a huge fan of this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I like hearing that. It makes me feel like not such a bad person.
We're just bad people together.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, like I enjoy this. If there's anything that you guys think, like, is there any cards off the top of your head that you think would fit well in here?
I feel like, because you mentioned,
if I had blue in here, I know there's a lot that.
If you wanted to be extra greasy, and you ended up taking out some of your artifacts, like you mentioned, Null Rod could be a good one in here. That is 2 mana. Players cannot play the artifact abilities requiring an activation cost. So you can't activate abilities on artifacts.
That's interesting.
It's very greasy.
Yeah, I guess I could put in some like artifact stacks pieces too, right?
Or Yasharn would be very good in here too.
That's the green white boar guy?
Yeah. Who will fetch you a basic forest and a basic...
But he also prevents graveyard shenanigans.
Kind of. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities.
Yeah, I guess if we get rid of the Bulls to Citadel, stuff like that, then yeah, it would be able to benefit us there. Don't really need the Bulls to Citadel in all honesty. I did have Yasharn in the deck. I'll be honest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was there. But I didn't feel like he actually really fit into it, right? So it was just like a little bit different, but you know what? I view it one way, you might see it another way. So yeah, maybe I'll have to swap that out, because I was also thinking of Kuranos, the dog.
Yeah.
Because he stops people doing stuff in the graveyard too, like creatures can't be played from the graveyard. But then I was thinking, like, so whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may exile it. Am I still able to trigger that ability if not being able to do stuff from the graveyard happens? That was the only thing I wasn't 100% sure, so why I didn't put it into the deck. But I could probably be a grown man and actually talk to a judge and get the answer.
That's Polakranos Unchained?
No, it's the dog. The dog. Let's see, Scryfall.
Yeah, while you're searching, there is one more suggestion I had, and it is a creature. That's Fleshbringer.
Ooh, yes. ETBs don't happen. I would hate that against some of my other decks.
Yeah.
I can't find it. I think I spelled the name wrong, but once I find it, I'll post it on our Instagram and everything, and I'll share it to you, and you can post it up on the Twitter for the peoples.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my salty old bones. That is, yeah, this is my being and how I feel in Magic in this point in time. I need to smack some people around and teach them how to play nice, fair Magic. But
we're having fun, and it is state mandated.
Right? Like, everyone has to play within the limits. I'm enforcing some new rules here. If there's anything that any viewers or any listeners have that they would recommend, I'm all ears for recommendations. I think I'm an all right player. I don't think I'm the best player, but I think that there's still lots of cards that I haven't seen before. So any recommendations would be fantastic. Also, if we find our Daniel, please let us know.
We miss him dearly.
Right? And then I don't think there's anything else I can go on about this deck about.
Oh,
I guess if
definitely.
you do build this deck, don't play it brutally, unless you. I guess play the deck at your. I don't know your play group. I don't know your people. I still want people to have fun with their game and be able to play their cards. So I wouldn't be. I'd probably be holding back a little bit, all depending upon who I'm playing against. But I do think this deck was fun. I did enjoy playing it the one time. I'll probably be playing it again here coming soon. So I'm looking forward to it. And with that, guys, thank you for listening in. It's always fun making content for you all. And if you enjoy our content, you know what to do. Please like, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, check out all our past episodes. Also, if you want to help support us more, other than just the sharing, liking, subscribing, that kind of portion, we do have our Patreon page. We do have hangout sessions. We actually hung out with we played Arena there the other day, and we had a few other people that came and hung out when we did a little short episode that we'll be putting out here a little bit later on. But yeah, we get up to a lot of fun. You have your own private Discord channels, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything? Oh, we got Abyssal Proxy. I'll let you hit that one.
Yeah. Be sure to check out Abyss Proxy Shops and use our code IT99 to save some money. Makes phenomenal proxies. I've ordered some myself. And they're just, the quality is incredible. Yeah, it's I can't get over how nice they are, and Inosuke as a Regidraga was something I needed in my life.
I don't know any of those words you just said. So that was what, IT99?
Yeah.
Abyss Proxy Shop, IT99. And with that, almost a month and a half away, we have the face-to-face Calgary event coming out. They do have packages that you can order. I believe we may be getting promotional codes, things like that. So do stay tuned and listen in. The code will help you get probably a little bit of portion off and help us out somehow. As well as just come out, like I said, September 29th to October 1st. Come out, play some cards with us. We'll probably be streaming a couple days. And yeah, just getting to know everyone. We're in our hometown. Stop on in. Yeah. Let's get some games. Let's go.
Yeah.
I don't have the same pizzazz as Daniel with these. He knows the script off by heart. But with that, guys, I do hope that you have a wonderful beginning to your week and enjoy the episode. Cheers.
See ya.